I went out every morning on my bike and was photographing Manhattan when it was like empty. All the hope and anxiety and fear and everything that was happening in 2020. We were just like everyone else, like obsessed by consuming the images of it. All of a sudden, all the plywood went up. And then I realized the potential of it. Letting something that happened in 2020 be carved onto the plywood used to cover up Manhattan. Started to write like just various institutions. We had a couple people say, yeah, come and take the plywood when we take it down.
Because the plywood was outside, it collected graffiti on it and was weathered by the elements, which is still visible in the prints.
We got probably around 120 sheets of plywood. We're depicting events that are dirty and a little bit messy. You know, having the plywood distressed is part of the story. The show really comes out of our own doomscrolling.
So it was an experience of terror through viewing the media of it all.
The show is comprised of 18 different moments between March 24th, 2020 and January 6th, 2021.
Those dates are often tied to the iconic images. In other cases, they're tied to the specific events.
The New York Times cover 100,000 dead from COVID. The next day, George Floyd is killed.
The day after that, the protests begin.
And the events just kept coming.
Kyle Rittenhouse shoots 3 people during the protests in Kenosha.
Donald Trump holding up the Bible upside down after the Parks police tear gassed a bunch of people.
The militarized police vehicles, the protesters with their hands up.
The first one that we did was January 6th. So many images there that they just seem out of place, and they seem out of time, and they just don't even really seem possible. It was the way that we have been looking at images, like on our cell phone, just like the resonance of the previous image over top of it, the resonance of the previous image over top of it.
We began a conversation of how to stack these images on top of one another. Reinforces the eyes, and it kind of gives this a little bit of dimensionality.
Gotcha.
And
it's really kind of serendipitous how it lines up in the right place, isn't it? Woodblock for us is grounded historically in social movements, a little more of the people.
It's the oldest means of mass communication of an image.
The meaning is under negotiation, and one of the ways to employ that is to pull very specific references from art history.
Like Rays of Light from Albrecht Dürer.
There's some Kathy Kollwitz hands.
Or the heavy shadows in Edvard Munch's woodcuts and lithographs.
When you read a newspaper and the ink ends up on your fingers, the information has rubbed into you and you can sort of feel that it's there, but you still can't quite figure out what it is.
As January 6th is re-examined, the way that we look at and remember these images is also evolving. I think we've yet to see what the full implications of everything that's happened in the past year and a half.
This project is just to remind us that it's still going on. And this is unresolved.